lines stretching for blocks, forcing people to wait hours to cast their ballots.
It could have rained, it could have snowed. I would not care. I'm not going anywhere.
Andrzej Duda has been re-elected president of Poland.
Many Malawians already knew from early unofficial results that he would be their next president.
Tsai defeated a pro-Beijing rival.
Luis Arce promised he will rule for all.
We will be a party that governs for every New Zealander.
We did it, Joe.
The flame of democracy was lit in this nation a long time ago. And we now know nothing, not even a pandemic or an abuse of power, can extinguish that flame.
I hope I aren't going to have the bloody bug now.
And press on for what is right, for what is fair, for what is just. But we will not go back. We've come too far, and we're not going to give up now.
How are you, dear followers? Today we're on another episode, and today we're going to talk about climate change, clean water, and sanitary.
Okay, at first we're going to talk about climate change. What is climate change and what is Colombia doing about the climate change? We basically want to focus on whatever is Colombia doing about this problem, because it's our country, it's whatever how we are going to treat our own lives. So at first, climate change is the pattern of weather. Weather is in the atmosphere. So whenever the atmosphere changes of weather, then there is a climate change. It can be or very hot or very cold in other places or different places. We can see how the climate change is changing everything. One of the most important causes of this is oil and gas, which produces carbon dioxide, and of course it will affect the weather. Then also deforestation, like killing all the trees and for building houses or buildings stuff. That is also one thing that really affects the planet in the case of climate change, and also increasing lifestyle. So now talking about Colombia, one of the big problems about Colombia is that instead of working on whatever is the climate change, that means having not using any bags or any plastic. What Colombia does is give a lot of money. It is supposed to give $1,000 every year to the cities for them to survive the climate change, but not really trying to end the climate change. So that is one of the big problems that Colombia has. They put a lot of money in order to the people to survive to the big changes of climate, but it really it doesn't make anything, because the climate change is every day getting worse, and the people people is being affected with it. So basically, that is what I have to say. I really think Colombia is right now don't do don't doing a lot to solve this problem. The money they're giving, they like I mean they said they will give the money, but they never give it. So that is one of the reasons why in Colombia we still have a lot of trash, we still have a lot of climate change, we still have the use of bottles and bags, and not like keeping the water, and everything is dirty. That is one of the big consequences that affect also our lives.
Hey, and you know what? Now that you are talking to about Colombia, I would like to say that I do a research about the bad emissions that Colombia is producing, and uh, like an essay that the El Tiempo journal published is about that Colombia into a global, like into a global scale, Colombia only represents the 0.46% of the emissions. So we are a really, 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 really small part of contamination. I found also that on April 10th from 2018, the Prime Minister of Norway, Emma Solberg, came to Colombia to expand the alliance between these two countries. That is about Norway is going to give Colombia $50 million if Colombia reduces the gases emissions like a year per year, and Colombia has to verify that emissions to be paid. That alliance is extended until 2025 in order to help Colombia to arrive to the ODS for 2030. Now, what would you like to add, Ms. Mariana?
I want to say something important about clean water. The geographic distribution of Colombia's water is lopsided, and rural areas are notably underserved, and 74% of coffee farmers cited drought as a growing threat to their livelihood. In Colombia, 1.4 million people don't have clean water, and 4.9 million people don't have a decent toilet. But okay, what? Okay, what the government is doing? President Ivan Duque has addressed water scarcity in specific regions by launching 115 million plan to achieve universal water access in La Guajira to 2024, as well as the Bicentenary Water Pact to guarantee access to potable water in Norte Santander. But other different problems is illegal mining. Crime syndicates have moved to into lands formerly controlled by the Revolutionary Armed Force of Colombia, FARC, after its 2016, 2017 desmobilization. One of these criminal groups' most lucrative activities is illegal gold mining, which has contaminated water wells in Mercury, in Antioquia, and Chocó. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, 66% of all of the gold mining in Colombia is illegal. Our different point is the capital, Colombia. Bogota, in the capital, Bogota. Bogota relies on páramos and in grassland for about 70,000 70% of its water supply. These ecosystems act like a sponge, capturing moisture from rain and fog, then slowly releasing water during the dry season. All this information is important to understand um, why some people in Colombia don't have clean water and sanitation in their life.
I want to add something to what Mariana has already said, and is that there are also kind of mini plans that are taking part in this year via government and some other companies external from the government. I mean, um, that are trying to stop this, mainly in the Guajira. That is one of the parts in Colombia that suffer these water problems. And according from the government, um the government is thinking in some solutions to take the liquid water to the Guajira, using some water trains that they are connected to the Cerrejon, as it is called, the like the top of the Guajira, and they are gonna start building tanks right there to make easy this travel of the water, and also to improve or solve this actual problem, uh, working with the company that is called Coal Energy. That is how they are making this possible.
And you know something, now that you talk about the government, I have another thing to add is that Colombia 5 years ago entered into the Paris treatment. And as everything, there are the people, the governments, everything um, take good decisions and bad decisions. And in this government, I have to accept that there is a bad decision because our president, here you have the number. The president invested $340 million to improve the production of fossil fuels. And you know we are in the trouble. We are in in the in the renewable energy path. You know, with this investment, we are going to, like, going back a little bit. So I don't know, but well, as I already said, we only represent the 40.46% of the contamination. And it's going to sound crazy, but it's not a big amount. So I don't think that $300 million is going to make the difference. But not all that money is going to the fossil fuels. One part is going to the government is going to invest that money in Avianca. That in a previous episode I was talking about that, and that is what I have to say. Because, for example, in Latin America, Colombia is globally is one of the smallest countries that produces contamination, and here in Latin America is Argentina in the top, then Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia. So yes, that is all what I have to say. What would you like to add, man?
Also, you're talking about what the government is doing, but also we, the citizens, are like, people is starting to bother about the problem, and like now we have little communities that will do something for the solving the problems. For example, there is this community called Saving the Amazon, which basically what does is plant trees in the Amazon, and people buy the trees, and that really helps. And the government let like give the permission to do it. So I think that is one of the like something that we have to say, because the government may not be doing a lot, but people is already like because of social media, like we already know the planet is on their worst moment in terms of climate change. So basically, yeah, we are working for it, and the citizens are doing something to solve the problem. I think that is something we have to also set, even if the government doesn't give a lot of money for the crisis. I do think that our participation, like stopping to use bags and try to not use plastic and all straws, like the straws that makes really dangerous in the turtles in the ocean. So I really think is the best way to solve the problem, because if the government gives a lot of money and we don't do anything, then nothing will happen.
So, man, who would like to add something else?
No, I don't have something to add. But I think it's important what Valentina said, that if the people don't do anything, well, it doesn't matter if the government give us a lot of money if we don't do something for help the earth.
Well, so with that reflection, that conclusion, we're closing this last episode, my community, So see you in, I don't know, in the next episode. This is the end of the path, the end of the track of the track. So it was a pleasure for me to inform you all about what is happening around the world. We finish like this. Thank you, all of you, man. This was amazing, man. Cerramos. Muchas gracias.
Yay.
Listo.
Logramos, hicimos todos los capítulos.
Uy, esa palabra sirve muchísimo, la de you know, man, you know.
To the street, resign, they shouted.
We want protection of our indigenous identity.
Against the killing of the youth, we want a new Nigeria where righteousness, peace and justice reign.
They are scared. They fear they are losing the power.
The worst fire season ever, and every year builds on the last one, it seems like.
Yeah, it really does.
This is everything we've worked for the last 35 years, gone.
This looks more like Mars.
One of the most busy hurricane seasons ever on record.
Devastation in Puerto Rico.
India and Pakistan are facing their worst locust outbreak in 70 years.
Cases are up. More than 30 states and Puerto Rico reporting cases on the rise.
Possible second wave. Going global. 60 million plus cases, almost 1.5 million deaths.
I've developed mild symptoms.
French President Emmanuel Macron.
President Bolsonaro has.
Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany.
Donald Trump
tested positive for the coronavirus.
Right now, I think it's under control. I'll tell you what.
How? 1,000 Americans are dying a day.
They are dying. That's true. It is what it is.
We don't have enough stretchers. We're way above capacity.
Cemeteries have become overwhelmed.
Allahu Akbar.
I think we could have been a little more preventative, as a whole, as a country.